Everything you need to know about narrating your own audiobook. But it doesn't stop there. From special guests, including authors and professionals from the book industry, to sharing tools and techniques needed to be a confident and compelling narrator. The journey starts now. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
Welcome to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. As you can see, my very special guest, which I'm going to introduce in just a second, is Amalia, and I want to make sure I get your name right,
That's
Amalia
perfect.
Camateros. We're going to dive into some really interesting topics today on the podcast. So I'm super excited about that. I'm Robert A. Lane. I'm an audiobook coach and producer, helping authors turn their books into audiobooks that they narrate themselves. But today we're just going to focus on a great guest. And again, I love having guests who are able to come here in studio and talk because it just creates so much better vibe. But with no further ado, let me introduce to you Amalia Camateros, who is an author who's written a couple of books that we're going to be diving into. And you're a shamanic healer, which for some people who may not be familiar with what a shaman is or what that does, we'll definitely dive into that because I'm sure many people have a lot of questions about that. But welcome.
Thank you for having me on this show.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
So you have a business here, a practice here in Sedona, Arizona.
Yes.
Did you? How long? Well, let's go back a little bit. Where did you grow up, and how did you end up here in Sedona?
Gosh, what a big question!
It
is a huge question.
It's a loaded one.
Yeah, no problem. I was born and raised in Australia, and how I came to be here, I was a naturopath doctor, someone who treats people with natural remedies and homeopathy and vitamins and mineral supplements and all the natural herbs and, getting to the root cause of a situation. I'm always a bit of a root girl. I'm from down under. So the down under people, they really get down to the root of the situation. And as a naturopath doctor, you always get to the root of the situation, the cause, not the effect. Yeah. And so how I got here was after many years of working as a naturopath doctor, and I was working for the famous band In Excess.
Oh, so
some of my generation will remember that band. The new ones were going, oh, what's In Excess?
So you worked with the band?
Yeah, I was their massage therapist and their naturopath doctor at the time, in the very, very, very highlight of their career in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. That was great. And I was also had some land where I would go after work, after treating a lot of people and being very young and able to be present for the people to, get into the root cause. I would sit there in my meditation circle. I had a little medicine wheel already back then. And I heard the word Sedona. It just came in to the field. I wasn't using computers at the time. It was just Sedona, and it hit me with such a wave that I heard 3 clicks, and then I heard the final click. I had 3 shifts, and then I heard a final click, and I felt like this Sedona thing, whatever it was, I thought it was a goddess, like Madonna from Italy or Spain, like trying to help me because I was so stressed and so full on, bank managers and clinics and 14 practitioners and a husband and In Excess. I had a lot going on. Yeah. And so when that word Sedona came, and it was an internal word that woke me up somehow out of something, I stood there. I sat there for about, I don't know how long, but I could feel this Sedona thing coming into my hands. I heard the word download, so I thought, I never knew download with computers at the time. So
right.
and from that point on, every 2 days or 3 days, there was something remarkably astonishing with synchronisms, visions about Sedona, synchronicities, people coming up to me, for almost 2 years. I was thinking when I found out what Sedona was actually, which is another whole, that's in the first book, by the way. All of this is in the first book,
Right,
the journey.
Right, which of course I want to.
The Spirit of the Stones book. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to lead into this. Here's for you to for people to actually see. For those of you who are watching the video portion of the podcast, we have a picture of the book there, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to throw up a little graphic here as well, just so you can see the book. So
It's actually on Audible as well.
it is on Audible as well, which is awesome.
But now I know that you. Well, I might do
We've
the
got
other
a book to
the other
read.
book.
That's right. So which is great that what you're saying about Sedona and all that, which led to
Yes.
this journey
Yes.
that you've written about in this book. So what was the catalyst that got you to go on this fantastic journey that you
Well,
went on?
as I said, I had these very astonishing visions and synchronisms and uncanny events for 2 years. It was like spirit, or the spirit of Sedona, was relentless about me coming here to do a mission. And the mission was that once upon a time I was an ancient shaman in the area that had coded, it seems like this is what I deciphered from all of it, that I'd coded in information into the rocks, because you know these rocks here in Sedona are full of crystals,
Oh, yeah.
quartz crystals.
Yeah.
So I'd coded in the information and was to return in a future time, to return the wisdom of that information to the people when the time came that humanity needed that. So in effect, I became a secretary to the earth. And what made me come here was a final blow, and I'd hesitate to share right now on here because it was too shocking and miraculous, but it was enough for me after 2 years of resisting, because why would I want to go to America? I'm in Australia.
Right.
I mean, why would I shift countries from one Western world to another?
Right.
But this is what happened, and I received this. I called up an omen from spirit and said, "You better prove this to me. You better make this right. I'm not running away from anything. I'm gonna. If you want me to do this, you have to show me this." And it did. And I'm sorry, it's probably in the first chapter of the book.
That's okay. Well, we want to hear about
And
it.
so then I just, in that moment, went to my knees and then bowed and said, "You've got me.
So
You have me."
Spirit of the Stone. So there are so many places that you traveled.
Yes.
That you talk about here in the book, and can you because I know you talk about like sacred sanctuaries. Can you describe what you mean by that?
Thank you. That's beautiful. The sacred sanctuary, a lot of people go to sacred sites, but the sacred sanctuary to me is different. To me, sacred sanctuary could even be the tree in your backyard. It could be, it could even be a little altar you have in your space, but it's somewhere where you can go to really come into your own inner sanctuary, your own inner private space that you can connect directly with earth and spirit. And that's where my second book comes in. Sorry, I'm jumping the lead here.
No.
I'm sorry. But I'm just
that's
saying,
fine.
I always, earth
Yeah.
and heaven. And so that alignment to me is a sacred sanctuary. But going into the stones, going to the river, going to the creek, going into the rocks, going into nature is a sacred sanctuary for us all, equally.
And with all the places that you traveled, can you talk a little bit about some where you went and what was the discovery in each of these unique places?
I've never been asked that before. That's brilliant. Actually, that's a good one. All right. So, well, Australia, as you know, is very vast.
Yes.
It's very vast. It's has a bit of a survival energy to it. Like you've got to be alive. It's alive. Lizards this here are from 5 feet long called goannas in Australia, or the deadly spiders and the deadly jellyfish. So you're always on that vibration or what shall I say, alertness in a way. Not that you know you're alert, but just is that. It has that where the Bushman in you has to be. And so Australia is very powerful. When I was 18, I hitchhiked around Australia and ended up living with some Aboriginals, and that was really interesting.
Yeah.
They taught me how to make fishing. It was a coastal Aboriginal, so I learned how to make fishing nets and, carve out of turtle shell and that catch it and things like that, some basic things. Also Egypt. I'd been to Egypt. My parents are both born and raised in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
So they're Greek born and raised in Egypt. And I'm Australian born.
Right.
So there's a bit of a mixture there. And those two cultures are the ones that I relate to the most. In my spiritual lineage, I relate more to the Greek pantheon and the Egyptian. So,
What was the sacred sanctuary in Egypt for you?
well, I got to tell you, honestly, the Great Pyramid of Cheops. I had such a one of the most profound experiences in my whole entire existence in the Great Pyramid of Cheops. It'll take too much time to explore, but again, it's in the first book.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
But no, I had astonishing visions, and I tested myself. I had my eyes open in the pyramid, and we'd paid bakshish, which means you pay the guard. It's called bakshish to get you special favors. So I was on a pilgrimage there with Sondra Ray, one of the early founders of spirituality. When I say founders, I mean American people who could speak and espouse and talk about this. And she brought rebirthing breathwork very strongly into the Western world. It's from India. So I went on a pilgrimage with her, and we were doing breathwork. So we did bakshish and got the guards to turn the lights off. So it's pretty profound when you are in the Pyramid of Cheops in the blackness void. And so when I see these visions, I was opening and closing my eyes to make sure that I was fully present. I wasn't in a state.
Right.
And I could see those things. So that's in Egypt. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've been to Greece. I've been around, which is great.
And of course, you talk all about that in the book, which is
Yes,
great.
yes. Greece just has this beautiful spirit to it. I don't know if anyone's watched the movie Zorba.
Zorba the Greek, of course.
When he raises his hands and starts to dance and bring that life force of Greece into his body. Greece has that energy. Hawaii, one of the most profound experiences I had in Hawaii was traveling out there into the lava lands at 12 o'clock at night, and people thought I was crazy, but I was on a mission. And actually I took my book, my Spirit of the Stones, and offered it into the hole, into the earth where the lava was flowing, and did that whole legendary thing of, the ceremonial legendary thing of giving the book and making prayers and, connecting.
So I do want to ask, and I think this would be very fascinating for people who are watching and listening, and that is a shamanic healer.
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Some people have, who are not familiar with, maybe they see things in movies, they read things, or they think it's, primitive or whatever. Can you describe, like, what is a shaman? What does a shaman really do? What does shamanic healing do to help others?
Well, a shaman, so I just firstly want to say that I don't call myself a shaman because I want to respect the lineage of that.
Oh, okay,
I'm a shamanic healer, so I draw from the shaman way. When I take people on the land here in Sedona, they go, "Oh, who taught you about shamanism?" And I will say, the greatest shaman of all. And they're like in bated breath, like, "Oh, I want to know who the greatest teacher of all shamanism." And I would say the earth.
Yeah.
That's how the original shamans would get. The earth is the original shaman teacher. So to me, I'm an earth walker, but a shaman traditionally is, it was supposed to be, I think the initial people were all shamans. We're all shamans, but we've just forgotten how to connect with the earth in this way, how to tune in to ourselves as an earth decipher, as a wisdom being with the earth. So a shaman originally would be the one that would be always living on the edge of town, not living in the edge of the village or out of the village, not too much concerned with all the little comes and goings of the town, and they were out there enough to be able to be a bridge between the inner world and the outer world, the inner society and the outer society of spirit. So they're the ones that would go and connect into spirit, whether it was in the underworld of the earth or in the overworld of spirit, and return the wisdom, return the messages back to the people. So they're like a go-between. So what I do is I utilize the wisdom of the earth to help people understand some of their emotional passages, how to move and integrate through their life, how to come back in. I actually help people come back into the alignment so that they can open up their shamanic eyes and listen to the wisdom and feel the healing, be more present with the earth.
Is that what psycho-shamanic healing is? Or
That's for me. I think I termed that. I'm not sure if I termed it, but I definitely may have seen it and loved it and used that, or I did myself because I'm a bit of a wordsmith too. So psycho-shamanic is the emotional psychology bridged in with the body and with the earth. So I'm all about, as a shamanic healer, I helped people to get out of their head and out of the polarity, the duality, and all that static in the head, and bring them down into the seat of their being, which is like in their body, and then also connect them with the earth. So they're more like a tree in a way. They're rooted, their branches are up in the sky, and they've got a strong trunk. And I think we need to become more like trees, personally. That'll be my third book. It's my third book.
That's good. No, which of course leads us to talking about transmission of earth spirit wisdom. Throw up a graphic here so people can see a copy of the book there. Yes, this which leads to this second book that you've released. It says a shamanic way of seeing, being, and healing. So does this book tend to be more about what you do currently here in Sedona, or with people that come to see you?
This is this book. From the other book, I gleaned so much wisdom. It's the other book is like a compendium of. It's more a journey that takes people through what I went through, so that they get to experience how to do ceremonies and how to be with Mother Earth and how to listen. This book here is called Earth Spirit Wisdom, which is what my business is called. It's called Earth Spirit Wisdom, and I didn't mean to call it that, but with my publisher, it was like, that's the only title that would be perfect, actually, because there's 3 sections to the book.
Ah, okay.
The first section is Earth, which is more about some of the earth things that we go through in terms of shamanism. And then the second section is Spirit, which is more about the conceptual, spiritual ideas. And I kind of stretch people's ideas a bit using allegory.
Okay.
So it's simple to understand, but yet strong. And then wisdom is bringing the 2 realms into the embodiment of the heart, which is the emotional part they can learn. So I gleaned a lot of that wisdom from my first experience being a secretary of the earth and spending so much time out there with Mother Earth. And now these are little excerpts that have arrived. Easy little digestible shamanic pills, I call them. If you want some shamanic medicine.
That's good.
And they're only 2 or 3 pages long each, so that you can use it for the day and then integrate it, digest it, integrate, assimilate it, and then use it.
Are there, or can you share maybe 2 or 3 key points that people will be able to get from this book?
Yeah, right. I think the first thing that comes into my mind is they can learn how to become calm.
Yes.
And also learn how to, I don't like, sounds like a quick little fix-it book, but it's not.
Right.
It's not a quick fix-it book. It's a deeper dive into how to gain access to your inner calm and centered, come into your center, the center of earth and, your body and your mind, and into the emotions, into your heart. And that's centered, or centered as in bringing all of that we're out here, because we tend to live out in a horizontal plane a lot. A lot of us are always seeking other people's approvals and the government and doctors, and we're not really in our own trajectory. We're not in the vertical. So I'm all about bringing that centeredness into the vertical alignment so that you can make your decisions and decipher what is really true for you, what's real for you. There's so much out there that is absolutely gone haywire, excuse me, in terms of which direction to go. What do I do next? I don't know how. So let's get back in. So calm, centered, and finally, connected. Connected to something greater, your greater self, greater as in God, Mother, Father, God, all that is. So calm, centered, and connected, the three things I would say.
And when people bring all that together, I would think that would build confidence and within yourself. I have in the book that I wrote, which is not as deep as it's a whole different topic, but I have a catchphrase that I use, which is I am who I am, I do what I do, and I am not ashamed of it. And I say that, and I tell people to say that because it's like a confidence boost. Because sometimes we doubt ourselves. We hear the term imposter syndrome. We hear all these different kind of terms. Even with coaching authors to narrate their audiobook. I'm glad you did yours because you've had the experience of doing it, and there's confidence and there's authenticity and there's all these great things. But a lot of authors that I work with, they say, I hate my voice. I don't like how I sound. No one's going to want to hear me. It's like, no, that's a false belief. That's a false belief.
Firstly, I want to say that your comment is cut to the chase. That's it. That's really great. People need cut to the chase comments now, ideas. But what I want to say about that is what I would help these people with, and you may be able to use this, is I don't want to come from my ego.
Right.
I don't have a nice voice. I don't look good enough. That really does, you're giving too much power to the ego.
Absolutely.
I'm not here, I don't want to be here to give out the ego, even though I'll have fun. Of course I can have fun with you all. And I have pride in what I do, but it's not egotistical. So even the lack, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't do this, I don't look this enough, I'm not experienced enough, that is coming from the ego. So I don't feel it's a great idea to start your book from that premise.
Absolutely.
Don't even start from there. No. Hello?
No,
all you authors out there.
That's right.
Just give to the people.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's right. It's ego. No ego. Authenticity.
Yeah. Ego is not a dirty word. There was a song in Australia when I was young by the Skyhooks called "Ego is not a dirty word," which back then, that's brilliant. Yeah. But we have an ego for the good reason of protection.
Yes. For
emotionally, physically, mentally, but not for it to take over and control us, and that we don't come to full bloom and our full seeing of what we're doing in the world.
Absolutely. So we are getting close to running out of time. I mean,
beautiful. You're doing great.
Flies by, which I love. This has been an incredible conversation. There's a website for those of you who are seeing the video portion. It's earthspiritwisdom.com, where you can reach out to Amalia. And I checked out your site. You got beautiful pictures there out in the Sedona Rocks. If you are visiting Sedona, Arizona, go to earthspiritwisdom.com. Connect with Amalia and have a session with her. Let her bring you out into the beautiful landscapes that are out here.
Mm-hmm. And also we have free 15-minute calls. If people want to ask any questions, you're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. So definitely do that. So now you mentioned about a third book in the works. Can you give us just a little hint before we go?
I can do that. I started off with rocks. I wrote a book about the big stones of the world and the wisdom that they impart. I call the rocks in Sedona seers and sages. They're the gurus of this land. And the second book is more to do with humans, I guess bringing all that information back into the humans. And I am absolutely in love with trees. I just think they're higher beings than we ever give them credit for. They are teachers to us to put our roots down, get grounded into something stable, and come on in from that confidence, that stability into the trunk of our being, so that the more grounded we are, the more we can reach out with our branches, the more fruit we have, the more we can be of service.
Yes.
So I have a whole new book coming into the works of the emotional, mental, physical aspect of the teachings of trees and how we can live our life in that way too.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Amalia, thank you so much for being here in studio. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you. It was great. I really enjoyed your questions.
Oh,
yeah, some of the questions are very unique. I
Oh.
like the part that you, and you take me to different parts of my brain to answer. I love that. I love that.
Well, you're very welcome. Amalia Camateros, our guest here on the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Again, let me put up that graphic for those of you seeing the video portion of the podcast. For those listening to the audio podcast, again, it is earthspiritwisdom.com, where you can reach out to Amalia. And of course, as we wrap things up on this episode of the Your Book, Your Voice podcast, you do have your assignment, and that is this. When you're out and about in the world, smile at a stranger, say hello to them, give them a compliment. Because that small gesture of kindness can make a world of difference in somebody's life. So be a life changer. Because you never know what somebody's going through. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Or maybe it is deeply rooted. And maybe we do need to strip away the layers and get to the root cause. And Amalia can help you with that, by the way. So, but again, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another edition of the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I do appreciate all of you. And of course, I appreciate Amalia coming in here.
Thank you, Robert. It's great. It was lovely to be here.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Many blessings.
All right, my friends, take care. Have a great, great week.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode. And remember, only you can narrate your story the way it's meant to be heard.